Our programs offer many languages. Please visit suprememastertv.com/schedule.
The Celtic tradition expresses a wealth of wisdom and understanding of the natural world, of plants and animals, and also the inner world of active imagination and our psyche.
Understanding Celtic art, past and present, part 2 of 2. Continue watching to find out more.
Vegan, or are we still flesh and blood gluttonous?
Feilaroo, hopeful viewers. Feilaroo means welcome in Manx, one of the official languages of the Isle of Man. The good-spirited people of the Isle of Man send you cheers for your benevolence and nobility. Welcome to our show, Understanding Celtic Art, Past and Present, Part 2 of 2. After a period of decline, the Celtic Revival of the 19th and 20th centuries saw a resurgence of interest in Celtic culture through several movements across many fields in northwest European countries. The revival was especially significant in Ireland, where it was frequently referred to as the Irish Revival. This revival of interest in Celtic visual art followed a renewed interest in Celtic literature. By the 1840s, the replication of Celtic brooches and other metalwork had become popular in a number of places, including Dublin, Edinburgh and London. The discovery of the Tara brooch and Ardagh chalice in Ireland in 1850 and 1868, respectively, inspired replicas of Celtic jewellery during that period. The Tara brooch, which was made of silver and elaborately decorated in the Latin style, was exhibited internationally over the following 2 decades. It's said that Her Majesty Queen Victoria loved the brooch so much that she gave replicas of it as gifts. By the turn of the 20th century, the Celtic Revival had made its way to Chicago, USA, which had a large Irish-American population. There, neo-Celtic patterns appeared in architecture, in the decorative arts and in book designs. Prominent examples include the rich ornamental style of architect Louis Sullivan, who merged complex new Celtic motifs with stylized natural forms, and the stained-glass windows in Old St. Patrick's Church, which were designed by Thomas A. O'Shaughnessy. Celtic interlace designs and the Latin plastic style had an influence on the Art Nouveau decorative design, especially in the works of designers such as Archibald Knox. It is estimated that Knox produced more than 5,000 designs for the high-end department store Liberty & Co. By the 1980s, a new Celtic revival had begun and has since become a global phenomenon, reaching well beyond Old World Celtic countries. Interest in Celtic art continued to grow throughout the 1990s, supported by many exhibitions in famous museums and a surge of books published on the topic. In 2017, June 9 was designated as the International Day of Celtic Art by a group of modern Celtic artists and enthusiasts, with the aim of raising public awareness about Celtic history and celebrating the work of Celtic artists and craftspersons through exhibitions, demonstrations, promotions and workshops. Contemporary Celtic artists such as Courtney Davis, Michael Carroll and Jen Delith, with their modern tastes, are good sources of inspiration for those new to this ancient art form. Of Welsh, Irish and Scottish descent from South Wales, artist Courtney Davis is famous for his modern interpretation of the ancient symbolism, myths and legends of the Celts. Using gouache and ink, his designs have been applied to a wide range of media, including paper, carpet, fabric and glass, and have been exhibited around the world. A self-taught artist, Mr. Davis's early designs were filled with complex symbolism, inspired by the English painter William Blake. He then began using Celtic borders to his pictures to enhance these early pieces after becoming fascinated with this art style. In 1984, Merlin the Immortal, written by Courtney Davis and Peter Quiller, sparked a renewed interest in Arthurian legends. Mr. Davis then designed a series of black and white prints that were used in the book he is most commonly identified with, Merlin Awakes, Revelations and Truths for a New Age. He has illustrated more than 50 books, some of which have been classics of Celtic art. A Celtic illuminator since 1989, Michael Carroll has worked mostly in the insular art style, continuing the tradition of the 8th century Irish monks. He has gained vast knowledge of the magnificently decorated pages of the illuminated Book of Kells, having spent decades researching the ancient techniques used to produce them. Since 2018, he has served as Celtic art instructor at the Irish American Heritage Center in Chicago. San Francisco-based Welsh artist Jen Dellith's deep love and respect for nature is expressed through her artwork, which has been published and exhibited around the world. In regard to how she is inspired to create art, she wrote this on her website.
The Celtic tradition expresses a wealth of wisdom and understanding of the natural world, of plants and animals, and also the inner world of active imagination and our psyche, working with the patterns, sacred images and myths of the ancient Celts renews my connection between the past and the present, the inside and outside, the seen and the unseen, life in all its mystery and interconnectedness through art and story.
When a man realizes that meat is the butchered flesh of another creature, he will abstain from eating it. Valavar, vegetarian.
Noble viewers, we'll now pause for a moment to hear a brief message. We'll return shortly. Please stay tuned to Supreme Master Television. Welcome back to our show. Let's now take a closer look at the main Celtic designs, namely spirals, interlace and knots. Spiral designs may be created from single, double, triple or quadruple swirls, which are usually joined to one another in either an S or a C-shaped arrangement. For example, the triskel or triskelion, also known as the spiral of life, consists of triple swirls or curved shapes, originating from a single point. It is used in the flags of Sicily and the Isle of Man, and also appeared in the 2008 British television series Merlin to represent the Druids. It has diverse meanings such as the cycle of life, death and rebirth, the Christian Trinity of the Father, the Son and the Holy Spirit, as well as the three components of time, the past, present and future. Another spiral arrangement is the step or key pattern. This pattern actually consists of spirals and straight lines. The maze design is a variation of the straight line spiral decoration, which stems from early Celtic developments in stone and metalwork, and subsequently appeared in medieval insular art. Celtic interlace has two main types, knotwork and zoomorphs. Knotwork is based on the following simple rules. First, the strands must alternate over and under, and second, the pattern formed should be continuous. Zoomorphs generally follow these rules as well, except when complex animal people shapes are used, in which case they tend to end in crests, tongues, limbs, heads or tails. Celtic true knots consist of complete continuous loops, without a beginning or an end. The knotwork pattern can be formed by a single strand interwoven with itself or any number of strips. True knots don't have loose ends or tails, unlike similar Celtic animal people interlace patterns. The triquetra, also known as the Trinity knot, is a common interlace knot pattern with 3 outer lobes and any number of curvilinear weavings within its centre. This symbol has made some famous appearances in modern times, such as on Thor's hammer, Mjolnir, in the US superhero film Thor, and on the cover of the Book of Shadows, in the US TV show Charmed. English rock band Led Zeppelin's keyboardist, John Paul Jones, also used it as his personal symbol on the cover of the band's fourth album. According to the book Celtic Art in Pagan and Christian Times by the British archaeologist John Romilly Allen, 8 elementary knots form the basis of almost all interlaced patterns in Celtic decorative art, 2 from a 3-chord plait and 6 from a 4-chord plait. All of these Celtic designs appear in the 2009 animated film The Secret of Kells, set during the creation of the Book of Kells, which combines traditional Christian iconography with insular art. For example, interlace is used for tree branches and tiny Celtic knots for falling snowflakes. The film ends with the book's most important page, the Christ's monogram She Ro page, coming to life, filled with intricate swirling patterns, and then finally radiating bright white light. For those who are just beginning to explore Celtic art, the book Celtic Art, The Methods of Construction by Scottish author George Bain might be a good place to start. This easily understood guide helps artists to recreate or even produce their own Celtic designs. First published in 1951, the book contributed much to the revival of Celtic art and has influenced many contemporary Celtic artists. An influential figure of modern Celtic design, George Bain, was the first person to deconstruct and analyse the complex designs of Pictish jewellery, sculpture and metalwork, and in early Christian illuminated manuscripts. With the advent of the COVID-19 pandemic and its social as well as economic impacts adversely affecting many people's mental health, art therapy, such as colouring, can help to overcome the challenges involved with long periods of isolation. A study published in Art Therapy, Journal of the American Art Therapy Association, found that colouring complex geometric designs, such as the intricate Celtic symbols and patterns, can help to reduce levels of anxiety. As Celtic colouring books are becoming more popular, the ancient Celtic art continues to positively influence and enrich people's hearts and minds in this modern time.
No to heaven, 'cause the suffering of others doesn't concern you, does it?
Knowledgeable viewers, thank you for your company today during Understanding Celtic Art Past and Present, Part 2 of 2. Up next is Rebellious Foods, From Aerospace to Plant-Based, with Christy Lagerley, Vegan, Part 2 of 2. Through the mercy of the divine, may the vegan diet be rapidly adopted around the world, thus bringing about eternal peace on earth.
Our programs offer many languages. Please visit suprememastertv.com/schedule and suprememastertv.com/AJAR.
Nos programmes offrent plusieurs langues. Veuillez visiter suprememastertv.com/schedule et suprememastertv.com/AJAR.
Nuestros programas ofrecen varios idiomas. Visiten suprememastertv.com/schedule y suprememastertv.com/AJAR.
Rancangan kami menawarkan banyak bahasa. Sila kunjungi suprememastertv.com/kehadapan schedule dan suprememastertv.com/kehadapan AJAR.